Have you ever wondered why love seems to come easily to others, while your own path feels filled with loneliness, lessons, and heartbreak? Why you can't seem to settle for ordinary relationships or pretend to be satisfied with something shallow? If so, you may be one of the rare souls Carl Jung spoke of, those born with a deep hunger for truth and authenticity in love. For these souls, the universe doesn't deliver love right away. Instead, it takes them through a journey of solitude, reflection, and transformation. Each heartbreak, every period of loneliness, and every moment of confusion becomes part of a greater spiritual process, shaping them into someone capable of recognizing and sustaining real, soulful love. Carl Jung's insights into the unconscious, individuation, and the shadow self provide a profound lens through which we can understand this process. The universe, according to Jung's philosophy, doesn't deny rare souls love, it prepares them for it. Let's explore how, step by step. Step 1. Separation from the collective unconscious. The journey begins with separation. Rare souls often feel like outsiders, unable to conform to the ordinary patterns of love that seem to satisfy most people. While others settle for companionship out of fear of loneliness or societal expectation, these souls crave something deeper and truer. They may look around and see friends getting married, starting families, or sharing happy photos on social media, while they sit in silence wondering, why can't I feel like that? Why does love feel so foreign to me? Carl Jung called this phase the separation from the collective unconscious, a moment when the individual detaches from the shared patterns of society, family, and culture. It's the soul's way of saying, I cannot live someone else's story. This stage can be painful. It often feels like being exiled from the world, cut off from the comfort of belonging. But Jung taught that this separation is necessary for the development of individuality. It's how we learn to listen to our inner voice rather than follow external scripts. Through loneliness, the rare soul begins to discover what they truly want in love, not what society says they should want. They realize that love cannot simply be about stability or approval. It must be an encounter between two authentic beings who recognize each other's souls. This period of solitude is not a punishment. It's a cleansing. The universe isolates these souls to strip away illusions and to refine their vision, preparing them to see and receive true love when it comes. Step 2. Encounter with the reflection. The activation of the Anima, Animus. After long stretches of loneliness, something extraordinary happens. The universe sends a person who feels almost magical, someone who seems to understand you instantly, as if you've known them in another lifetime. You might feel electrified by their presence, believing you've finally found the one. But according to Jung, this is not yet true love. This stage represents the activation of the Anima or Animus, the inner image of the opposite gender that lives within the unconscious mind. For men, the Anima represents the feminine aspects of their soul: intuition, emotion, and sensitivity. For women, the Animus embodies the masculine traits they haven't yet integrated: strength, rationality, and decisiveness. When someone enters your life who embodies these qualities, you are drawn to them instantly. They feel like you're missing piece. But Jung warned that this attraction is often a projection, not a reflection of the other person's true self. You are, in fact, seeing the hidden part of your own psyche mirrored in them. Imagine standing before a flawless mirror, so clear that you forget it's just a reflection. This person becomes that mirror. The qualities you admire in them are actually the ones your soul is trying to awaken within yourself. This explains why such relationships feel fated, but often end painfully. You may think you're loving another person, but you're actually loving an aspect of yourself that you have not yet embraced. Jung encouraged people to recognize this truth, because doing so transforms heartbreak into awakening. When you understand that the attraction was meant to reveal your own potential, you stop chasing the reflection and begin integrating those missing qualities within yourself. Instead of longing for someone else's strength or softness, you start developing those traits from within. And that inner integration becomes the foundation for authentic love later on. Step 3. Self-sabotage, the rise of the shadow. Once you begin to open your heart again, perhaps even meeting someone who seems genuinely right for you, something strange happens. Doubt creeps in. You start second-guessing their intentions, fearing betrayal, or imagining that things are too good to be true. You may find yourself pushing the person away, even though a part of you longs for closeness. This is the moment when your shadow self appears. The shadow in Jungian psychology represents the hidden parts of ourselves, our fears, insecurities, and unhealed wounds. It often stays dormant in unhealthy relationships, but when a true connection arises, the shadow wakes up. Why? Because real love threatens its control. The shadow thrives on familiarity and fear. It tells you to avoid vulnerability, to stay safe, to protect your heart, even at the cost of happiness. Many people unknowingly sabotage relationships during this phase. They delay replies, test their partner's loyalty, or interpret every silence as rejection. In truth, they're not doubting the other person. They're doubting their own worthiness of love. Jung believed that this confrontation with the shadow is crucial. It's the soul's way of revealing where healing is still needed. The key is not to destroy the shadow, but to integrate it, to understand its voice without letting it dictate your life. When you catch yourself in patterns of self-sabotage, pause and ask, is this intuition or fear? Am I reacting from wisdom or from an old wound? Each time you choose trust over fear, you take a step closer to wholeness, into the kind of love that endures. Step 4. Inner restructuring, becoming your true self. Once you've faced your shadow, the universe invites you to rebuild yourself from within. This phase, which Jung called individuation, is about creating a life and identity that align with your truest nature. You begin to question everything: your habits, beliefs, relationships, and even your career. The old version of yourself, shaped by fear, family expectations, or the desire to please others, no longer feels real. This transformation can be disorienting. People around you might say you've changed too much or that you're making reckless choices. But deep down, you know it's not rebellion, it's liberation. Inner restructuring often looks like walking away from things that no longer resonate, leaving a stable but soul-crushing job, releasing toxic friendships, letting go of old family roles like the caretaker or the overachiever. It's as if you've been living in a house that doesn't fit your soul. Now you're tearing it down to rebuild one that finally feels like home. Jung warned against romanticizing pain or using suffering as identity, such as saying, "I'm special because I'm misunderstood." Clinging to pain only keeps you from healing. True transformation comes when you let go of the need to define yourself by wounds or loneliness. This restructuring is the most empowering step of all. It's when you stop looking for love to complete you and instead become whole on your own. When you walk into a room no longer searching for someone to fill the void, your energy changes. You attract relationships and opportunities that reflect your authenticity, not your wounds. Step 5. Surrender to life, the paradox of true love. Finally comes the most paradoxical step of all: surrender. After all the inner work, after breaking away from the collective, facing projections, confronting your shadow and rebuilding yourself, the universe asks you to release the very desire that began your journey, the longing for love. This doesn't mean giving up or becoming indifferent. It means letting go of the need for love as a condition for your happiness. You no longer chase it to fill a void. Instead, you allow it to come naturally as a reflection of your completeness. Jung compared this surrender to the principle of paradoxical intention. The more you try to force something, the more it escapes you. Like a swimmer panicking underwater, the more they thrash, the deeper they sink. But when they relax, they float effortlessly. Love works the same way. When you stop grasping for it, you rise toward it. This phase is marked by peace and presence. You begin to enjoy your own company. You pursue passions, explore life, and live with purpose. And in doing so, love finds you, not as salvation, but as an extension of the wholeness you've already built. One man described this beautifully. After years of failed relationships, he finally let go of the chase. He began traveling, taking photos, and simply living for himself. And when he least expected it, love arrived, quietly, effortlessly and authentically. That is the power of surrender. When you no longer need love to feel complete, you become truly ready to experience it. At this point, the lessons of the earlier stages converge. You've separated from the collective illusions of love. You've recognized projections of your anima or animus. You've faced your shadow instead of running from it. You've rebuilt your inner world with authenticity. And finally, you've surrendered to life's natural flow. The result? A kind of love that isn't born of need, fear, or illusion, but from choice and wholeness. Conclusion: the universe's hidden design. The journey of rare souls is not about punishment or delay. It's about preparation. Every heartbreak, every lonely night, every false connection serves a purpose, refining your heart and deepening your awareness. Through Jung's lens, love isn't just a romantic story, it's a path to self-realization. When you stop seeking love as proof of worthiness and start living from your authentic self, you finally understand that love was never missing. It was simply waiting for you to become someone who could truly receive it. The universe doesn't send love to complete you. It sends love to mirror your completeness. And when that moment comes, when you've surrendered the chase and embraced your truth, love will appear effortlessly, naturally, as if it had been there all along.